Well, hey, welcome everybody to another episode of your favorite Tech Tip Tuesday. My name's Ken Close, and I'm joined here by our amazing head of operations for Americas, Jake Barron. Hi, Jake. Thanks for being here.
Hey, everyone.
Yay. And we've got a tech support customer service rep in the background. Who do we have tonight? Marcus? Or
we're going to have Miguel. He should be here, should be on the call any minute. So
awesome. So we got Miguel coming in with those assistant fingers in the background. So hey, you guys start going. I see there's questions already jumping into the chat. So we're hitting the ground running already. Let me tell you guys, if you guys are brand new here tonight, welcome, by the way.
I sent them the telephone numbers for the sheriff stations in Cave Creek and Anthem.
Here, let me mute that.
He says they don't.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So as you come in, I know you guys are excited, but just go ahead and mute yourself if you would when you come in. Here's what we do. This is a chat-based forum where everybody who has a question or a concern or needs more clarity about something related to their Healy, then put it in the chat and we will do our best to unpack that. I'm a member just like most of you guys here, and just bring my experience, my background, and any knowledge that I've gained over the years to assist in this understanding at a deeper level. So what we can't do though is we can't diagnose, treat, prevent, or even recommend anything around diseases, disorders, or any of those kind of things. So there's an amazing app that we have available, which is the HealAdvisor search app to help for that. But what we can do is we can take your technical questions or challenges that you might be having and bring our talents to the table and try to solve those. So in the background, we've got Miguel back there, and then of course myself and Jake. So let's get this party started. How about that, Jake? You ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go, everybody. Right out of the chute, we already have a question around the Blue Dot app. So Mara says that the Blue Dot app screen goes blue while vibrating a program. It's happened a few times to us. You know, I've heard this a few times from other members as well. And there's a couple of things that I would want to address. First of all, is to make sure, I mean, when you get a blue screen, this is the app saying that essentially I'm confused. That's the app saying I'm confused. It's lost track. It's not sure what to display. And so sometimes that is a fault of the app. Sometimes it's the fault of the resources that it has. Resources meaning the smart device you're running the program from. So if it has, say, a limited amount of memory, I know that some of you guys like to put a lot of pictures and videos and content on your smart device. And then the resources for running the functions of the Healy app or even any other app wind up being limited. So a good rule of thumb is that you have a minimum of 25% of your total memory resources available still free. So there's ways to take a look of how much memory you have free on your smart device. If you don't know how to do that, guess what? There's probably a YouTube recording to help you understand what that is for your exact model. Some of the other things is if you're running things in the background, you know, so again, that's depriving the program from resources. Running things in the background, in other words, running other apps, right? That maybe are checking your email in the background, they're updating content, things like that. So shut down all, when I say shut down, I mean hard close all the other apps in the background before you run your HealAdvisor or Blue Dot app, or even the Pink Dot app for that matter. And lastly, one of the principles is making sure that everything's up to date. So not only just the smart device operating system, but also you've got the latest app version as well. And so Jake, you want to add anything in there, or Miguel?
Well, Miguel actually sent me a note here that there's a known able with that particular thing for a few people, and the developers are working on the solution right now. So
yeah, and I
would imagine that will probably be addressed in one of the next release for the app.
Yeah. I did notice that there had been a few more people expressing that issue after the last update. So sometimes,
Mhm.
again, but updates are to improve the product and improve functionality. So this is a learning experience still. So stay tuned. What you can do in the meantime is you can, again, hard close everything and start the procedure over. Sometimes you don't know when it goes off because maybe I've heard people say they're using the blue dot and they're running it, say, while they're sleeping, and they don't know when it goes off. And so, the only thing you can really do is start again for now. Okay. What else do we have? And then, so again, the same person is saying that while doing a scan, the screen goes completely white and stays that way, and that you have to try it three times or so. So again, hard closing the app. There are times in which the app and its connection to the systems of your smart device. So when I say systems, I'm talking about the touch screen is one of the systems that the app uses. The display itself is one of the systems that the app uses. Even the audio portion of your phone, because it's going to play that little tune at the end of the program. That's another one of the systems. The camera, the Bluetooth, all those things are systems in which the app is linking to your hardware. And it's necessary for those to be proper, or it loses functionality. And one of those things is the screen itself. So if this is persistent with you, another option, by the way, is to open the app. Two things: open the app from the App Store. That if there's an update waiting for you, it'll show up in the App Store, right? Sometimes you'll get a notification saying there's an update and you automatically do that. But if you go to the App Store and open the app from there, then that's going to pull in any update. Secondly, you can actually delete the entire app and then re-log in and then see if that helps to reallocate. I also highly recommend that you shut your smart device off, at least once a day. Turn it totally off. And if you reload the app, if you delete the app and reload the app, definitely turn the smart device off and then back on, okay, before you reload it. So that clears all the cache and the content that usually is still attached to the old version of the app. So those are very important pieces. Jake, you want to add something there?
No, I mean, the old, like you said, restarting often does the trick here. And I know Anthony from our tech support team was doing a Zoom today that required, it was an issue with a sync on actual, not the Analyze app, but just the HealAdvisor app couldn't get past that initial login screen where it shows that it's syncing to the cloud. And really all it took, this was an Android device, but all it took was clearing the app cache, and then it fixed the issue. So restarting, clearing the app memory, the app cache typically can solve a lot of these little hiccups. So
okay. Same person, another section of the question. Hey, this is what the advantage of getting in early. You get your questions put in here. There's a whole laundry list here. So this one is the last one. She says, using the Coil with the Blue Dot app, she sent my explanation to two of the clients who are doctors, and both of them separately don't understand how the scalar waves that we can send remotely and use non-locally, quantum mechanics, could be partially blocked by the Coil. Could you speak more about that, please? So this is a case in which the Coil is still attached to the Healy hardware while running anything like the Blue Dot. Okay, so when we're working with quantum entanglement, honestly, there is nothing that can get in the way of that signal. I mean, to be honest, there's nothing that can be in the way of the signal. So if you have the Coil attached to your hardware, the Healy itself, or not, there's not really going to be anything in the way. The not my understanding, but my position on when the coil is attached, the quantum sensor, aka noise generator, that's it's on the back side of the Healy hardware underneath this cabinet. It's part of the circuit board, but it's on the back side here. And when the coil is attached, there is still, this is like a radio transmitter. A radio transmitter has a certain range of travel. And within that range of travel, its maximum efficiency is within a smaller space. But don't get me wrong, please understand that quantum entanglement has no limits to space and time. So it's at the molecular structure of things. So even putting the coil in the way, well, I don't like to use that. It's not really in the way, but putting the coil on the hardware, covering the quantum sensor, aka noise generator, covering it with the coil, it's not going to stop quantum entanglement. What it will negate is this, potentially negate the strength of the noise generator signal. So it's just like a radio station, and up on the hill in your area, there's a big tower, an antenna that's transmitting the radio signal. And if we were to put a big magnet around that antenna, the signal going out into this free space would be negated. It would be interfered with in some way. Okay. So this is the same concept when we're using the coil in regard to the transmission of the noise generator. But when it comes to quantum entanglement and the actual intention of the blue dot, that coil is not going to get in the way. So I just take it off myself. It's my own personal preference. I take it off because why? The coil was really never intended nor designed to be on the device when you're running the blue dot. So I'm sure that because Marcus loves to do studies, there'll probably be some study on any kind of conditions around that coil later on. Does that help? Anything you guys want to add? Jake?
No, we covered it.
All right.
I want to go back up to the top here. There's a question that came to me as a direct message, but this is probably something that you could maybe just review the guidelines on. It was related to our Telegram group, and somebody was trying to join, or they went back in and they said that there was a message that they were banned from that group. And I know there was some specific guidelines as far as the information. You have to have your full name, right? When you join that group, you can't just have like a nickname or something. Can you just real quick, just maybe have a summary of what we look for to make sure that you're a real person? Because we do get a lot of spam and people, trying to get into that group, and we just want to make sure that it's a real user.
Absolutely. So we're pretty adamant about the security of the members in this group because for spamming reasons, like Jake said. And so it's required that you have your first and last name in there, not just numbers or like a handle, the word sparkly or something. No, maybe that's your first name and I get it, but maybe it's Sparkly Jones, right? You need to put something in there so we understand. And so as administrators, we watch very carefully for that. And we've had so many creative spammers and we can usually tell by the influx of, literally dozens within a minute of people joining the group. And there's analytics and statistics that we can monitor in the background, and it shows certain spikes in user, or I should say member joining. And we've got kind of an average. And so we watch that. And if you've been banned, sorry if it was a mistake, but take a look at your name and what it looks like on Telegram. And if it's just numbers or some handle, then it's not going to work. So
this particular person said they had been a member since it started. So a long time now, was just, I guess, recently banned. And they were wondering how to, because they really do want to be a part of the group, how they can get unbanned, I guess you would
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah, no, that's valid. So sorry about that. And you know what? I've been seeing, I've had more of that happening, and we're trying to figure out how that's possible, because we
Yeah.
review. I'll get contacted personally by somebody who has been banned and don't understand why. And so someone who's been in there a while, and I will go to the administrators and say, hey, is there any reason for this? And then when it's all cleared and set, and the answer is no, then there's a certain process we have to go through to get you back in. And so I don't know why. We're trying to figure out if there's some way that people are able to hack into our group and eliminate people. So far I have not got an answer for that. But if you would perhaps in a private message, send me your email address, or Jake, if you've got the content, great. Let's get them back in. And I know how to do it. I've had to do it for a few people now. So
Yeah.
we'll get you back in.
Okay.
Okay. What else we got? Wow, they're coming in. Thank you guys. Okay.
Oh, couple of questions on natural cycle. So, we did a natural cycle tutorial about 2 weeks ago on Healy for beginners and beyond. And we had a bunch of questions on it last week as well. There's, obviously confusion still over if the time for the program is in the middle of the night, what should you do? Of course, obviously that is the ideal time to run that program, because that's when that organ meridian is active in that 2-hour window. But in the training video that's available in Healy Academy on natural cycle, it does mention that if you're not able to run that program at that time, you can pick one of the programs closest to it when it's during your actual waking hours. So it's always best to run the one that you need to, but for some reason you can't run the next program. And then, worst case, you can skip a session. It's not gonna ruin the whole experience if you miss just one session there. So, I wouldn't get too stressed out about that, because getting stressed out about it isn't it kind of goes against the point of getting back onto the natural cycle. So yeah, anything to add there, Ken?
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head. Think about it, folks. The point of the alignment of these frequencies in the programs, the point is to bring balance to the organ, the meridian, the system within your body, and the planetary involvement, or the circadian rhythm. The point is to bring order. Okay, so the necessity of that is your participation. We've got to have a mindset that is not in chaos or disorder, worry, lack, or fear, in order for our bodies to believe, accept, and surrender that we're actually in the healing mode. Otherwise, we wind up on the non-healing mode. So yeah, it's not, if it's not convenient. Now, if you want to set an alarm, wake up, do whatever, to get on board with that program in whatever time frame it is, it's asking you to do it. I don't recommend setting alarm. The alarm is disruptive in my book, but if I put an intention out there to wake up, to do something beneficial to my body will wake up. Maybe some of you guys have experienced that, understand what I'm talking about, and you can just turn it on and run it. But other than that, yeah, Jake, you're spot on.
Yeah. Another natural cycle question from Lisa. So also related to this, that she was asking if we discussed natural cycle with Nuno this weekend. So we at our events here, we didn't really. Well, Nuno wasn't here this week, or the past week in Orlando. We had, of course, Marcus and Carolyn McMakin were here, which was amazing. Awesome experience. But as far as what to do before you start the natural cycle, I guess leading up to it, you're supposed to, in the video, it also explains you're supposed to run the Pure program from the gold cycle in the month leading up to the beginning of the natural cycle. But the question here was, she also said that she heard you're supposed to run stabilization daily also twice a week in the month before, leading up to the beginning of the natural cycle. So that the first part, the Pure program, yes. Stabilization, no, that you don't run that leading up to it. You only run the stabilization program immediately after the activation program on the Tuesdays and Thursdays that you run that have each session. So it's an 18-minute activation program, glass of water 30 minutes before, glass of water 15 minutes before, activation program, glass of water, and then the 30-minute stabilization program immediately after is how it works for each session.
Yeah. And you'll notice that when you run the activation part, you know, when you actually run it, you'll see the little pink bar change to stabilization part, right? So it's like a, you know, it's a transition, it's a flip-flop. So, yeah, so you know what, here's the fun part. We're just getting to know this better. And as you'll find the next time you run this, you're going to be like, wow, I'm an expert. I got it all figured out.
Yeah, well, she actually, and she accidentally skipped 4 sessions. So she deleted the app, and she's like, she's just going to start with the summer solstice. I think it's on June 21st. I think it was the next start date, but she wants to make sure she gets it right this time, you know, leading up to it. So I definitely understand that. But also our developers, the HealAdvisor app, and specifically the natural cycle module within the HealAdvisor app will get better and more user-friendly over time. Of course, we've made it a point to our developers that, yeah, if you do need to delete the app for some reason in the middle of one of your natural cycle programs you're halfway through, it would be convenient to be able to get back sort of to where you were. So that's definitely something that's under development. I don't have any sort of date I can give you as far as when that'll be available, but little improvements like that will be released as we go here. So
I love it how the company is super proactive with you guys, you know, putting in your questions in here, and the interface and the interactions you've got with customer service and with Jake, and this chat content is saved. So, you know, these are pieces that are handy for analysis. And if you guys have all noticed, take a look in your on your shop page, when you look at the support page in terms of sending a customer support ticket, there's a spot in there where you can make suggestions, right? So that creates a ticket and then another further analysis of the content. So think about that. That's just another layer of, you know, the suggestion box. All right. I love this one. So Teresa, thank you for this. This is a great question. And some people just don't even notice this.
yeah.
But Teresa says, when I start the program, the pink dot, there's a bright pink border at the top and won't let me start the program. I have to restart the program several times. Any suggestions? So yes, that's actually a glitch, by the way. So at the top of your microcurrent programs, you'll notice that there's like a designed wave, right? And normally it's white. And then whatever color program that you're running is the color of the screen below it. Well, when it turns pink, and that happens, this is, like I mentioned earlier in this call, this is a misinformation between the app and the display portion in which the CPU is interfacing. It's making a mistake. I mean, honestly, it's just content that's not sure. And so it picks some default color, which is pink, and paints that top little bar pink. So this is a great indicator that, like, oh, something's wrong. And you'll notice now I've had it actually function fine with that, but that's not the norm. That's not the norm. There's something that orbits around me in the technical world that things just tend to work. I mean, I put that out there and it's like, it works even when it's broken, but it's still working. So, but it's not supposed to be that way. And so what do? What you do is you've got to hard close the app. You just got to hard close the app. And I suggest that not only do you hard close the app, but you turn your smart device off and back on. Okay. Give it a time to reboot. Now, quite possibly what's going on, unbeknownst to you, is that you have less than 25% of your memory resources left on your smart device. This is a big deal. I can't stress it enough. I'm going to say it over and over again. Every time somebody calls me about an issue, I say, let's go to the settings and see how much memory you have left. I can't tell you 80% of the time they've got like 10%. There's like no memory left. So you've got to go back and look at it. And if you don't know how to check the available memory on your device, YouTube has a rockstar array to show you. I promise. All right. Okay. What else we got here? There's one says, do you go through periodically and clear some who haven't been on in a long time?
I think it's related to the Telegram group is that question.
Oh, no, to the Telegram. We don't get rid of anybody. We want everybody there. But here's another interesting statistics that I've been watching is a losing of members. And I watch the spike in which people disappear, because that's another, we're trying to see if there's some way that within the Telegram software that, somebody's able to get in there and make some malicious adjustments of some sort. I don't know the answer to that. We do not delete anybody. The administration, I'm one of the admins. And so I will look diligently to find out what happened. And then, I will work diligently to get you back in. So no, we don't delete anybody. Okay. What's next, Jake?
There's a Pink Dot app question. There's not enough information in here to answer the question. So they have both of my Pink apps are not working. They've been down since April 3rd. They put in a ticket communicating with someone from tech. It's been extremely slow. I'm having surgery next Tuesday and would like assistance. So if you could put into the chat what issue is, you can't log in, you can't start a program, there's no programs listed, or maybe it needs to be updated, so we can kind of maybe narrow down what might be going on with that particular issue. So,
yeah, I guarantee you there's a solution.
Yeah,
I guarantee you there's a solution. We just got to find out what the symptoms are specifically. So yeah.
Okay.
What else? So it looks like Miguel has addressed some of that. We recommend clearing the cache data, some things that there's a little piece that he put in there. Awesome. Lizzie, thank you. You know what, you guys, I'm going to say, obviously this is a tech tip, but when you guys put some kudos in there and some every now and then, like, hey, guess what? Your advice worked and it's now running, whatever. Thank you. Those are super energizing. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Jim had a question here about the training with Marcus and Carolyn on Friday. He bought the ticket and he thought that he'd be able to access it remotely. And he wanted to know if the training will be made available online at some point. So as of right now, there is not any plan to make that available online. And we tried to make it as clear as possible on the ticket page that it was an in-person event. So, there's a lot of, it's not as easy as it sounds to make this content available because of the certain releases and stuff that we need. So, if that changes, we'll certainly make some sort of announcement, but as of right now, that was an in-person event only. So,
yeah, it's again where, we remember, you guys, we're tapping into a space that's not been tapped in before, and we're kind of making up the rules, and it's better to feel into it strategically and cautiously, as opposed to get our hands slapped by regulatory systems and get shut down. It's just a better idea to be, really protective over what we have. And so, and I commend Jake and the staff, the corporate group, try to be as clear as possible. And Jim, it's not a senior moment. I'm telling you, brother, it's everybody has, we see things in a certain specific way because what we want to see, right? Like, woohoo, I'm going to get on, right? Sometimes there's that little cognitive bias that we want to see it that way. But no, you're fine. I'm sorry. maybe you can write in an email and get your money back. I don't know if that would work or whatever, but yeah, we'll see how things go in the future. Training is important and great. And I'll tell you something, Marcus is amazing at presentation. Of course, he goes into very deep, I have a friend of mine who says that she's like the Cliff Notes. I'm the documentary when it comes to content delivery, and Marcus is the documentary plus. So he gets pretty deep.
Yeah, and there's, we made it a point for the people that were in attendance to a little bit of a benefit at the end. Everybody that was there got one of Marcus's book. Everyone got Carolyn's book, and they were both they were able to get them signed by both of them in person too, at the end of the show, which was a great ending really to the whole event. There you go, Ken. You got both. So
this is Marcus's book called The Second Path. All right. The Second Path. And I haven't read it all yet, but I'm digging right into it. And this is Carolyn's book called The Resonance Effect. This book is actually on Audible as well, folks. And I highly recommend this. This should be actual required reading for all Healy members. I'm just saying, should be required reading. Because your depth of understanding around what's called resonance, and Marcus talks about this, resonance and coherence. This depth of understanding will give you so much more clarity on how Healy works and this information field. Okay. Let's see what's next. Yep, people are saying, please try to make the training available. So folks, this modality, like I said, most of you here are members. And what a member means that you're a business partner. You're your own business, but you've got the license to fly under the Healy flag. That means you've signed an agreement and you agree to the policies and procedures, and you agree to the comp plan. You've made some agreements. And now as a business partner, those agreements need to be compliant. You've got to act compliant. You got to remain in a compliant manner. And so there is certain content that's just not going to be available without some sort of a agreement, again, to license to fly under that training. It's just part of how things work. Now we're a network marketing company. Network marketing companies create training. And so down the road, remember, we're still kind of in that startup phase. Down the road, there's going to be road shows, regional qualifications, or qualifying events. There's going to be things that you can just buy a ticket for and go. How many of you guys got to go to the road show last year? Right? There's things that we went across the United States, right? So you just were able to buy a ticket and you go and you get all the training, right? That's just going to get better and better. There's also going to be exclusive events you have to qualify for. Okay. That's just how it works. And if I know a lot of folks are not familiar with network marketing structures and that business model, but that you'll get used to that because that drives behavior. What's the behavior? Share Healy. The more you share, the more you qualify for. And, the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Yep.
All right. Kathy says she's got Carolyn's book on order on Amazon. Right on. All right. What else? And by the way, folks, when you read a book, how many of you guys have read or watched a movie once, and then the next time you watch it, you see stuff you didn't see the first time around? Yeah. You know why? Because you're not the same person the second time. You're literally 800,000 cells per second different from the first time you watched the movie or read the book than the second time or the third or the fourth. And so if you've read Carolyn's book before, read it now under the new mindset and your new education around Healy. I promise you're going to find stuff you didn't even realize. aha moments are going to be left and right. Read it again. It's worth it. Okay. Yay, got your Bluetooth back. Okay, awesome. So somebody's getting some functionality back. I love it. What's the title of Marcus's book again? Hopefully somebody put that in there. It's the second path.
And that one's not as easy to get as Carolyn's. So
Right.
as far, we actually had those shipped in from Germany, all of those. So I'm not sure, I haven't done a lot of digging to see where you could possibly find it in the US, but
I think corporate needs to have a few copies on hand, don't you guys?
No, I mean, it is a good idea, and we'll see if we can maybe facilitate, making this a little bit easier to get here in the US. So.
Hey, I'm going to drop a huge bomb, you guys. And here we go. You ready? Okay. Marcus talked about a Kozyrev mirror booth in Germany. Okay. Help me build one here in the US. Jake, you and I are going to talk about something. I
was talking to Mikkel about that later in the afternoon. I said, how much space do we need? So
he was willing to share the blueprints. I'm willing to build it. Yeah. And I know if I build it, you guys will come, right? You guys will come. Yeah. And here's the cool fun part. We're going to sit in the booth here in Orlando. Well, I'm not in Orlando right now, but we'll sit in the booth in Orlando and we'll talk to Marcus in Germany through the field. Let's do it. So Jake, you guys put that intention out there for us. Let's get that built. I'm ready.
Maybe for 2023 Healy America's Homecoming, we'll have something in place. So.
Oh, you heard it live right here, you guys. Woo! Yeah.
I said maybe.
Network marketers, we take maybe and we make it what we want. Right, Jim? We hear what we want to hear. Okay. I'm just having a senior moment. Okay. What else we got? Lizzie says she was in Salt Lake City. Thank you for being there. That was super fun. Went last year to the road show. Yes. Good. We're going to do some more of that, folks. Believe me. I mean, did you guys feel the energy? Those of you who went to Orlando, over the top. Energy, connections, love, openness. Man, we were all over the place. And you know what else is cool? We changed the energy of the Hyatt Hotel. Yep. I talked to people that were working there. They're like, you guys are amazing. You're fun. What are you on? We're like, we're on Healy, baby. We're on Healy. Yeah. Okay. Where are we at, Jake? Did I miss some?
Well, we got a lot of event comments, book comments, things like that. So reading definitely we've taken note of all of the feedback, of course, related to the event. Always looking to improve them going forward as well, and especially the books. I think obviously there's a big demand for those books. So I'll personally look into what we can do to see if we can get some of those easier to get here in the US.
And I want to give huge kudos to Jake, because when he says, I'll personally get this done, it's done. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. It's done. And I really so much appreciate that. And it just happens very quickly. Let's see. So Lizzie says she asked more questions, but she got to go check on the cattle now. All right. Watch those cow pies. All right. Let's see. Tomorrow, What's Up Wednesday, everybody. Please jump on there. We're going to review some of the understandings and content around the MagHealy qualifications, things around the promos that are still going on. And of course, we won't have Marcus tomorrow, but you guys saw that on the Frequencies with Friends. How many of you guys registered and was either on that or at least registered for Frequencies with Friends? Right? Okay. Please, everybody, even if you can't attend, register for those calls, because your registration link or your invitation link is the recording access link later. You just come back and watch it whenever you want. And the content the cool thing about that is you can pause it. When live feed, you can't pause it. Like you can't pause me right now. Sorry, but you can pause the recording of this. And Jake's going to put this recording in our YouTube page. How many of you guys know about the YouTube page, right? YouTube. What YouTube page? Healy America. What is it? Sorry.
HealyAmericas.com.
Say it again.
HealyAmericas.com.
Write that down. HealyAmericas.com. That's the direct link right to the YouTube page. And on there are the recordings for Tech Tip Tuesday, What's Up Wednesday. You got a couple of frequencies with friends on there, the ones that the US handled, as well as the Healy for Beginners and Beyond. Folks, that's an unboxing. You got a brand new person. That's a video you can share with your brand new person. And every one of these videos are hyperlinked. What's that? Well, hyperlinked is it's the dissection of the video. And this is a manual process, by the way, that Jake does. Dissection of the video, and then puts keywords in very specific timing of the video, and then puts a hyperlink right there. And you can just click on that content. If you want to see something about the blue dot or the pink dot or whatever, and you see pink dot, blue dot, blue screen, something like that, you can click on that and you can watch just that piece of the video instead of the whole hour. And the other fun part about that, folks, is you can right click on it and you can copy that link and send it to a team member or a customer, or save it in your own archives. That's huge power, everybody, in terms of what's available in terms of resources. So I want all you guys to subscribe. How many are on here tonight? We have 44 people. So if you haven't subscribed, I would say probably, I'm going to guess that half you may not be subscribed there. So I want to see 22 new subscriptions today in the YouTube page. Okay. Who's in? Come on. Who's in? You guys in? Yeah. Okay. I'm still wearing my blue bracelet from the pool at Orlando at the Hyatt. You had to get a bracelet to go down the water slide. I didn't know that was only for the kids. I was like, I want a blue bracelet. So, all right.
So, I mean, good point on the recordings for frequencies and friends, because questions in the chat about when training for MagHealy starts, and it really has started already. With every time Marcus is on frequencies and friends, he talks about MagHealy, goes into a little bit more detail on it. And of course, as we get closer to the actual launch, we'll have much more content. There's MagHealys slowly making their way out into the wild now. We saw a few at the event this past week, and there's more sort of on the way. We're expecting a few in the Orlando office in the next week or two, and we're certainly going to help or start putting together sort of a training plan. Of course, Marcus is going to go into all the science and everything behind that, but we'll focus more on this call, or at least our team at corporate here, the tech team, on using it within the new app that is going to be specifically for MagHealy. So the MagHealy isn't going to be part of the Analyze app or the Pink Dot app or anything. It's a separate standalone app for the MagHealy. So we'll start kind of putting together all those details as well to help everybody be ready to go once it's available.
And Marcus has done some trainings. The intention was 5 trainings, and he's done 2, actually 3. He did some on our Frequencies and Friends this week. So he's doing it every time he's on there, by the way. So again, if you haven't subscribe, if you didn't subscribe or register for the event, you're not going to have the invitation link for recording. But here's what you can do. You can go into the Telegram group. Everything is put in the Telegram group. And our Facebook group, and then the YouTube page has a lot of content. But if you go to the Telegram group, I don't know if you guys all know how to use Telegram and the search function on Telegram. Go to the top of, well, it depends on if you're on the mobile or if you're on your computer. If you're on mobile, if you go to the top and click on the bar across the top, the name of the group, click on that, it will drop down a search function. You click on the little search, the little magnifying glass, and you can put a keyword in there. Anything in that group that contains that keyword will pull up. Now, if you're doing it on your PC, on your computer, there's the little magnifying glass already there. You just click on it, and that search function will search anything within that keyword. Super powerful, everybody, super powerful. So, you put in frequencies with friends. You put that in there and you'll see if there's a lot of times we will post the recordings for that particular one. So, yeah, definitely get on board with that. All right. How does one subscribe for the newsletter? Is it still? Yes. Newsletters, you can subscribe to that. Actually, there's a spot you can do that in your back office. Jake, where is that? I forget where that's at. Or Miguel, can you put that in there? How to subscribe for the newsletter? There's a link.
Yeah, I have to search for that. But
Ooh, Kathy's got a great question. All right. I love this question right here. This is a great question. So Kathy asks, why does prostate come up for a female profile asking for a friend? Hey, even if you were asking for yourself, it's okay. I love this question because think about this. In ancient medicine, even before some of the language of the medical industry, the name prostate, wasn't really there, but an energy center was. So we have 7 main energy centers within the body. That's just the main ones, the 7 chakras. You're familiar with that? So the root center, what's there? What's there? Systems, organs, cells. And so if the database in which you are scanning to align the human that you're working with is not super vast or super inclusive, then it's going to pick out the closest program with the frequencies within it to help align that system, right? Gender's not specific. Location is. So that's one of the reasons, one of the things. Now in the information field, everything's just information. White, black, old, young, male, female, it's just information. And so we're addressing things on the information field. If there are frequencies that are on the prostate program that can assist the first center for a female, so be it. So be it. It's not limited. So I think to me, it's fascinating. Kidneys shows up for me, right? And what if my balance, masculine and feminine, is interfering with my kidney function? Do you think kidney female will show up? Yep. So we got to understand we're working from a different model. Everybody looks at each other and goes, oh, there's a man, there's a woman, there's someone, a child. We look at things we're not looking at things complete, but that's okay. I mean, the information field is a place of vast content, unlimited, vast content. And it's hard for us to fathom the available content there. And the moment we tap in, the moment that this little hardware taps in and builds a bridge between that quantum field of information and the biological and physical fields of matter, now we're linking things in a whole new way. And I recommend just to surrender and allow that to happen. All right. Like I said, I'm the documentary. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, by the way.
I already had answered this question about the MagHealy. Miguel also in the chat mentioned it too, that the MagHealy is a separate standalone app. It's not for use with either the pink dot or the blue dot. So.
All right. Ashley's got a question. Thank you for being here, by the way. Some of our folks that haven't been here before, welcome, by the way. You missed it when I was saying earlier. Welcome anybody who's new. Yay. Thank you for being here. Kristen, Brittany, hey, how you doing?
Some familiar faces from Orlando.
Yes, so familiar faces from Orlando. Oh my gosh, super awesome. So great question. Why do the watch programs always show up in the all program search? Can we stop that? Well, so first of all, the Blue Dot app is all encompassing. So whether you have the subscription or not, there's content in there that's relevant to the alignment of you. Relevant. Now, the information field, the blue dot you can set it to vibrate mode, even if you don't have the subscription, and even if you can't run it in the pink dot. The effectiveness to the rewiring of your physical form is still happening. So even though that it's in the watch programs, or it's the digital nutrition programs, or it's in the bioenergetic vitalization programs, and you don't have those subscriptions, that's still available to you for alignment from the blue dot perspective, AKA vibration state. So holy smokes, to me, it's like, guess what? I have another avenue of being able to give those to my body. And there's, like I said, in terms of addressing the prostate question, there's frequencies that your body needs within that particular program modality. And so you can run them. Can you stop it? Yeah, you can not choose that database. You can go to a different database, AKA Bachflower, or something that's not all Healy program related. But it's still the information field. It's still going to find content within the entire vast realm of its resources to align you. To me, I feel super special about that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to run that. I have the watch. I have all kinds of things that, Healy offers. I don't use it all. Sorry to say, there's not enough time in my day. How can you use it all? How can you? I mean, so 2.5 years going on 3 years, I have not used it all. I'm still learning. Okay. Thanks for that question, Ashley. An email was sent out a few days ago before the call to all members with a link to register. Yes, remember that you're always going to get it. Now, again, what if you're not on the email list? Okay. You got to get on that email list, right? And I'm sorry, guys, I don't have the link right here in front of me.
Miguel put it in the chat.
Okay.
Thanks, the newsletter link. And then also, typically on our What's Up Wednesday calls, when we discuss the frequencies and friends, we'll typically have that announcement there as well, and put the link into the chat, or make it available on that call too. So if you're tuned in there, we try to find as many ways to get that link out there. But of course, not everyone gets our emails, even if they're signed up. Sometimes it goes to their spam, or they just miss it on that particular day. So just typically it's been the first of the month, but we've been having some middle of the month calls recently too. So because there's so much new stuff to discuss.
And that's value. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. So Marcus, I can just see Marcus, waking up in the morning, and go, "Hey, you guys, we got to have another one." Right? I mean, guys, when you meet Marcus, it's like he's a big kid. I love it.
Yeah.
I think he had a blue bracelet too. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's see. So another question: are there descriptions for the watch programs? Yay! Very vague. I'm sorry. That's the descriptions for the watch programs are very vague. And we are in 54 countries, right? And trying to be compliant with all those different countries, there's still very limited content. And I get this all the time. So you're not alone in this question, Ashley, about where can I get deep descriptions of this content? And I've been on almost every call, involved in almost every version of the owner's manuals, and it's still in development. So now here's the fun part. Moving forward, corporate put a lot of time and effort into the homecoming, and it showed like crazy. It was such an amazing experience. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jake. Thank you to all that team that worked on that. It was great. And now we're going to work on marketing and branding. I'm not doing it. Muhammad and that marketing team is doing it. So they're going to be building on branding and marketing content. So I think what you're going to see coming up really fast now is going to be a lot of great stuff to help us share what Healy means. So buckle up.
Yeah, so there's not, like you mentioned, there's not detailed descriptions, but in the Healy app manual, I know we're talking, of course, Healy Pink Dot app, not Analyze app for the vibration, but if you go to the Healy app manual that's available in back office or within the app itself, and go to page 27, I believe this is, there's a brief sort of overview of the watch programs, then also the Healy Watch Meridian programs as well. It's again, a very high level sort of summary, but there is some information available there if you want to check that out if you haven't reviewed that particular section yet. So
what I recommend to all the folks that I'm interacting with and all the people on my team is to go to Healy School every day. What's that mean? Well, find a spot in your day when you can dedicate, and not multitask, but dedicate an hour of going into content, like what you're learning here. Go in and do a deeper dive, dig in, go to Healy School every day. Eventually, I mean, how many of you guys want to make Healy a business? I do. So how many of you guys want it to be $100,000 a year? How about two? How about $1 million a year organization? So take a look at any $1 million organization in the world. What does it look like? How trained are the top officials for that company? Do you think they know what they're doing? How'd they get there? It wasn't any other way but diligent training and learning. You want $1 million organization, then start to get $1 million education so that you can build that organization. There's no other way to do it. You're compensated to the extent of your service. That's universal law. Not my law, universal law. You're compensated to the extent of your service. So go to Healy School every day. Okay. Let's see. Kristen says, I had a member who says Blue app dies when sending frequencies just after 59 minutes. This happened after the last update. So when it dies, not sure what that means, dying. Does that mean
does the app just close, or does the Healy shut off, I guess?
Yeah, we would want to know. So because remember, the Blue Dot app is a one-to-one real-time interface between the app, aka also your smart device, and the Healy hardware. So if the Healy hardware shuts off, like maybe the battery goes dead, then the app is going to stop. Or vice versa. If your smart device, if you get a phone call, I mean, if something goes on your smart device that interferes or disrupts the app, it's going to interfere. It's a one-to-one. And so far, there's not a way, currently, there's not a way for that not to be the case. The Bluetooth has to be on, and the one-to-one real-time interface has to be going on. Because if you'll notice something on the app itself, when you're looking at the app, you'll notice two waveforms, a pinkish hue and a bluish hue waveform. Okay, those two waveforms, the blue is the read function from you. The pink is the transmit function to you. It's a two-way interface. It's beautiful. Watch it. I get mesmerized by it, but it's a two-way interface. And that's in real time. If you shut the Bluetooth signal off on your smart device, or even if you get out of the app, you're done. So, all right.
Yeah, I'd be curious maybe on next week's call if it's shuts off or dies or whatever after 59 minutes every single time, or I haven't heard of this particular issue happening, but I'm curious to find out more what exactly it is. So
same here. You know, I would love to know what's going on. So tune back in next week. You know,
yeah, cliffhanger for next week's call.
Right, come back next week for the answer to this to Christian's question. So here we go. It's already the end of the hour, you guys. I'm so bummed. I mean, it's like, I feel like we just got started. So please do me a favor, everybody, go out there, share this call. If you found value in the content, if you learned something tonight, bring somebody else that may need to learn something as well. You know, we're always happy to be here, and we love having you here. So it energizes me, and you know, Jake's off work already. He should have been home having dinner by now. So,
Well,
but anyway.
I want everyone, please join us tomorrow for What's Up Wednesday. We're gonna kind of, if you weren't in Orlando last week, we're gonna show a couple behind the scenes videos of our VIP night and also our big office tour as well. And we've got some other videos coming regarding the evening gala too. So we're gonna show some. It was a great 3 days here in Orlando, and wanted to share that with everybody. We'll show that tomorrow live on What's Up Wednesday.
And another cliffhanger, we're going to have some special guests coming in to give some testimonials about their experience, how they saw what was going on. So I'm super excited to hear from them, and maybe one of them's on the call right here. All right, you guys, big love. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, and also tune in next week. So we'll see you all on the next time. Share this. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.